Good Christmas Eve, everyone. Welcome to GardenStateWeather.com and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, providing superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic 24 hours a day. I'm meteorologist Robert Smith. It's a little after 5 o'clock on this Christmas Eve, and it's starting to get a little stormy. It's been raining quite heavily across portions of Pennsylvania down through the Lancaster area, or Lancaster, and down towards Philadelphia, the I-95 corridor here, getting into Annapolis, Maryland. Some heavier rain out into Fredericksburg, Virginia. Finding the wind gusts now increasing all out of the south and southeast right now, and the gusts are increasing into the 20s and 30s across the region. And temperatures are pretty mild too. They're generally running in the 50s, but to get into central and southern New Jersey, temperatures are running about 61 to low to mid 60s. Across this area, and of course in some of the cooler rain, temperatures are holding back now into the upper 50s, but still nevertheless a very mild Christmas Eve out there. We've got some flood concerns too, so we want to take off the radar right now, and we want to take off the observations probably as well at this time, and take a look at some of the hazards that we have going forward right now. They're quite numerous, and it's going to be a busy night tonight into tomorrow morning for Christmas. We've got a lot of stuff going on here. Flood watches and high wind warnings and flood warnings here in the darker greens here, or the lighter greens here, or the medium greens. It's a lot of stuff going on this afternoon, and we'll get into that right now. Start off here in New Jersey. Here in the greens, we have a wind advisory in effect from 6 o'clock this evening until 7 a.m. on Friday, and a flood watch in effect for the remainder of the day into Friday morning as well. We'll start off with the wind advisory here. This is for portions of northwest Jersey, east, central, northeast, and southeast Pennsylvania, from 6 p.m. tonight until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning on Christmas Day. Gusty winds could blow around unsecured objects, and that has been happening today already. Tree limbs could be blown down, and a few power outages may result. And so you're going to have to use some extra caution in driving. Secure any outdoor holiday decorations before the strong winds arrive. And of course, all of this will be also occurring for the same portions where we're going to have a flood watch in effect for all of these areas here in Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, northern Delaware, and the Lehigh Valley area, Philadelphia, Upper Bucks, western Chester, and western Montgomery. Heavy rain will move into the region during tonight. It's been training from southwest to northeast already, and 1 to 3 inches of rain over the region, and as much as 3 to 4 inches of rain over the southern Poconos. This is going to cause excessive rainfall. Snow melt result in rises of rivers and streams. We're already seeing this. So there is the potential for that flooding, and you should monitor the latest forecast. Those living in flood-prone areas should be prepared to take action should flooding develop. And if we went into the coastline here, and this would also be for the North Shore of Long Island here, we've got definitely some high wind warnings in effect here for this color here. If this comes up right now, it should. Yeah, high wind warning in effect from 6 o'clock this evening through 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Again, for Cape May, Ocean, Western Monmouth, Atlantic, and Southeastern Burlington. Damaging winds, blown down trees and power lines. Widespread power outages expected in this area. Travel will be difficult, especially for high-profile vehicles. Additional details: secure any outdoor holiday decorations. We're going to have southerly winds at 25 to 35 miles per hour, gust up to 65 miles per hour. And now there has been an upgrade to this area in here for the same area, where these winds from central coastal New Jersey here down through Cape May and all the way down to the Delaware area here could approach hurricane force during the overnight tonight. Meanwhile, for the New York City area and up towards Connecticut here, this would include a flood watch in effect and from 11 o'clock tonight through Friday morning, and a high wind warning remains in effect from 6 o'clock this evening through 10 a.m. on Friday. Now, this is for portions of northeast Jersey, New York City, including southern Connecticut, northern Fairfield, all of these areas, New York, Manhattan, and eastern Passaic, eastern Union, and New Jersey, western Passaic. Basically this whole area from 11 o'clock through tomorrow morning. Rain will be heavy at times tonight, 2 to 3 inches of total. Excessive runoff of low-lying poor drainage in urban areas will result in flooding. And that is bad news, plus the runoff that we already have. And of course, over superseding this too is a high wind warning for southerly winds at 30 to 40 gusts up to 65 miles per hour. Connecticut and New Jersey and New York areas here, and in New Jersey, Hudson County, from 6 o'clock to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Damaging winds, blown down trees, power lines, widespread power outages are expected. Travel will be difficult, especially for high-profile vehicles. So it's got a lot of stuff going on over here. And so we'll overlay the radar here and take the radar off. And for the rest of the area, well, we still have some warnings here from wind advisories now from 6 o'clock this evening through 7 a.m. on Friday. And that's going to be for the following areas. If we can pull this up, see if this pulls up. And so far across the Connecticut River Valley, the Hudson area, down through New Jersey, northern New Jersey, central and southern New Jersey, precipitation has been very light. It's not really occurring that much here in southeastern New Jersey just yet. But back towards Pennsylvania here, from the Poconos all the way down through Philadelphia, or just west of Philadelphia into Lancaster, and then point south and west here near Washington, D.C., and even further south, we're finding amounts now already approaching an inch to 3/4 of an inch or more in spots over the last couple of hours. So we know that this rainfall is also going to be getting in here. We've seen some big bright spots here, about almost 2 inches in spots here across in the yellows here across Pennsylvania. So all of this rainfall is heading in our direction. Taking a look at our latest surface analysis here, we have low pressure here near the southern portions of Hudson Bay, Canada, dragging a cold front through the Ohio River Valley area, getting into Pennsylvania, and the Appalachian Trail here all the way down through the Virginias, and then down with multiple mesolows on it. And then in this warm front now snaking its way into central and southern New Jersey, and the winds are all off the ocean, so lots of water is going to be piling up in these regions over the next 12 hours. We'll take a look at the low-level water vapor here. This is a very telling tale. High pressure over the Central Plains here, or over Nevada and the Intermountain West here. Lots of moisture coming in with a storm offshore here off the west coast and riding over the top of this ridge here. Dry air in Texas here. And here comes that strong squall line with moisture here. This is a water vapor channel. And look at all of this juicy air that's riding up along this frontal area during this afternoon and evening on this Christmas Eve. And we'll take a look at the composite radar here. And once again, it's going to start lighting up here. Which it is, and it's been parallel to the front right now, and it's going to take some time to get in here, but over the next couple of hours, especially overnight tonight and tomorrow morning, that's where the heaviest rain and wind potential will be. And any of these mesolows that are transversing along this line here could produce mesoscale convection, and that mesoscale convection will allow for downburst winds, even though the Cape values are pretty low on soundings. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be some vertical wind shear or some even speed shear here is definitely going to be an issue, and that would bring down some of the trees and also some of the power lines during overnight tonight. Lots of stuff going on tonight on this Christmas Eve. We've got heavy rain. We've got lots of lightning here showing up offshore, the southern and northern mid-Atlantic region, and all the way down to Florida too. There's been wind reports here, thunderstorm damage wind reports coming in. Also see a lot of lightning here in some of these storms. And here's that wall of very heavy rain now coming in from Richmond, Virginia, all the way up to Washington as the storm begins to take on a negative tilt here. And there's lots of shower and thunderstorm activity across the south too, with wind damage reports coming in. These are all wind damage reports. And we've even had a few funnel clouds here, or reports of funnel clouds here in North Carolina during this afternoon. And again, across Columbus, North Carolina this afternoon. And also the other one here that we're looking at is in Bladen, North Carolina. Funnel clouds are being spotted. So we know that rotation is going on in some of these thunderstorms, and this is a dangerous situation. Now behind it, we also have snowfall reports coming in. And this is for people in Ohio now. They've had 1.5 inches of snow being reported here this afternoon. 1 inch here in Breathitt, Kentucky. And so we've got snow on the backside of this storm system coming down in Blue Ridge Mountain areas in Georgia, and about 1 inch of snow. So yeah, it's a pretty dynamic, potent storm situation. And of course, in Pennsylvania, already 1.13 inches in Schuylkill, Pennsylvania, heavy rain. And in this area here, there is flood warnings in effect for the melting of the snow, and also better than 1 inch of rain, which is already coming down right now. Going back into the Storm Prediction Center's mesoscale analysis is very interesting, because look at how dynamic this trough is becoming as it's becoming negatively tilted here through the Ohio Valley all the way down to the southeastern states. This is just the beginning as this cold push comes in and the upper level trough swings negative and then off the mid-Atlantic coast, with mesoscale lows embedded in this trough axis right here. I'd rather just take off the radar for just a moment. We are in the warm sector, and notice how sharply the cold air is coming in by the tight isotherms here and the strong winds here. We've got very strong winds offshore and also ahead of the storm system here, blowing at 50, 60, 70 miles per hour at the surface here. At mid-levels at 850 millibars, and at the surface, let's take a look at the pressure here. It's down to about 1,000 millibars here across Kentucky and Western Virginia, and also the Carolinas here. And this also going to be tilting and moving up through central Pennsylvania over the next couple of hours into tomorrow morning, with the winds all over the ocean. If we can pause this here. Winds all off the ocean here, and lots of heavy rain. I want to go into the 700 millibar analysis. This is where, it's getting interesting, because all of these thatches in green here indicating better than 70% relative humidity, so that's where all the heavy rain is right now. But if we move this forward, that is going to expand all the way off the coastline here, and all the way from northern New England all the way down through central Florida's Gulf Coast as well. So, we're looking at a very potent weather system. 500 millibar analysis. Here's our jet couplet right now across the south as the upper level low here at 500 millibars closes off across the central plains here. Look at these dynamics here. This is impressive. And as we get further, that jet streak is just going to increase as we get into the next 6 hours. East and just slightly west of the Appalachian Mountain chain here, with winds blowing at about 70, 80, 90 miles per hour. Impressive. Downdraft Cape. This is the availability of the winds from the mid-levels of the atmosphere to reach the ground and cause basically wind damage, power outages. Anything over 500 in downdraft Cape joules per kilogram indicates to me, and the thatches here are all the way from, let's say, Morris County all the way down to just around Mercer County, and anything to the east here, 500. These areas in here have to be watched for downdraft Cape, and that's going to bring down some trees and power lines as well in any thunderstorms that form. Another thing I'm seeing with the downdraft Cape, as the severest weather should be over the Delmarva and then offshore the mid-Atlantic coastline. But during the next couple of hours, this is where, the severest rain comes in with the downdraft Cape, and that would mean that these areas here have to be watched over the next 2, 4, and 6 hours across central New Jersey's coastline, all the way down to the Delmarva as well, especially the coastlines here of New Jersey, from, let's say, Monmouth to Atlantic County, Cape May County. This is where some dangerous wind damage should be being recorded and reported. All right, we'll take a look at the latest mesoscale analysis for the HRRR version 4 here across the northeastern United States. And you see these squally lines here building up with the showers and embedded thunderstorms located in them. Mostly heavy downpours, but here comes a little squally line that's making its way through the area late tonight, early tomorrow morning. So embedded showers and thunderstorms are possible in these areas. The squall line looks like it's going to move offshore during the morning hours here, right before dawn, maybe 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And then, you know, there goes the heavy rain. But, you know, and here's our surface low here at 996 across, and the trough line access moving off the coast as well. But before that happens, and that 992 millibar low gets into central Pennsylvania, the Ohio River Valley area, and then to New York, on the back side of this is snow. And as the rain exits late tomorrow morning from southeast to northeast, from southwest to northeast, there's cold pockets of air building in with thicknesses that are around 516, 510. Okay, so we start off this evening with thicknesses at 557, and it's just incredible the amount of cold air. So this is something that we have to look at. These are the wind gusts here that are forecasted at 10 meters, which is about 30 feet proper up in the atmosphere, and that's close to treetops. Okay, so we're starting out with gusts into the 30s and 40s, and then as we head into the evening hours and overnight hours, those gusts could increase, and especially by tomorrow morning, those gusts after midnight tonight could be exceeding 60 to 65 miles per hour, and in some cases even up to hurricane strength. We'll have to be monitoring this. The dam is closing down that window on wind gust, especially tomorrow morning out of the northwest and west at about 30 to 35 miles an hour. But still, with all that snow melt and heavy rain coming in, that means some damaging wind gust at the surface, and any kind of shower or thunderstorm squall line coming through here is going to break it down the ground, because it's going to be super saturated from the melting snow and the rain that's coming in. Now, if we looked at the total accumulating snowfall, rainfall here, or total accumulated precipitation, we can see it building in here. And this is where the model sees better than 1, 2, 3, 4 inches of precipitation here, especially over the just north of the Hudson River Valley area. There could be spikes here with better than 5 inches, according to the soundings here. 4 inches. Here in northern New Jersey, 1.5 to 2 inches of rain. So it's gonna get quite juicy. And as we head into Saturday, obviously the heaviest rain will be in these areas here where we've shown them. Off the HRR model, I like to take a look at what we call surface-based CAPE in joules per kilogram, the crossover winds in knots at 500 millibars in black, 850 millibar level winds at 5,000 feet in blue, and 10 millibar winds at 30 feet above the ground. And we see directional shear here, and we also see speed shear here going on over the next couple of hours into the overnight hours. And this, to me, looks like a dangerous situation as we head into the overnight, as the winds all kind of conjoin, as the surface wave and every surface low and deep upper trough converge here, and things begin to change around. We still have directional shear and speed shear here going on at the same time tomorrow morning and into Saturday as well. So lots of interesting things going on with this storm system. Back to the Storm Prediction Center, everything in red here at 850 millibars is warm air advection, and the blues, cold air advection that's working and filling in as this trough is going negatively tilted here. It's positively tilted, neutral, and then negative as you get into the Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee River Valley area. So that's very interesting to me. The other thing that I want to look at, let's see, frontogenesis here. 850 millibar frontogenesis here. Well, this is definitely going on as this well ahead of this trough here, becoming negatively tilted here in the atmosphere. So that's now, and this is going to become more potent as we head into the region overnight tonight. If this shows up here And we're going to into this in modeling in just a moment. This is going to be a dangerous situation for our area. This is what I wanted to get into from the 18Z run here on this Christmas Eve. Here is the frontage genetic forcing showing up in the purples here. So the Delmarva region has the best chance of seeing this, but then there's that other lobe here over central Pennsylvania moving into New York State with the upper level low. But this area here has to be watched from coastal New Jersey all the way down to offshore later this evening and overnight tonight. And then there's that another little lobe coming in tomorrow morning on Friday. Looks like it's not going to be as severe, but it would be for Friday. Tomorrow at about, I don't know, the afternoon hours, but that should be gone. But that's for the worst frontage genetic forcing seems to me overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. And this is at 8:50. If we took a look at the 700 millibar temperature, and also that's at 10,000 feet, mid-levels of the atmosphere, and bring this back here. Here comes a frontage genetic forcing now through eastern Pennsylvania into New Jersey, the Hudson River Valley area, Connecticut, Long Island, New York City area. Yeah, you got 50, 60, 70, 80 knot winds blowing in here. This is a dangerous situation. And you've got a lot of lifting here going on in the atmosphere. And that is the reason before we get the cold air advection coming in and NVA, or negative vorticity advection, coming in tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Wow. This is just incredible to see. So we're going to go out of the Weather Center tonight and prepare food for Christmas Day. Got lots of people coming over here to the Weather Center as well. For GardenStateWeather.com, GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, I'm meteorologist Robert Smith. We leave you with the, Charlie Brown and, the gang here. And they're caroling. It's Christmas Eve 2020. What a frickin' year this has been. I don't know if it's going to get better in 2021, but I think we have promise. It's just going to take time. But we have to hold on to our hats and hold on to our hearts and loved ones and all of the struggles that we are going through right now. Be safe and be prepared for tonight and tomorrow as temperatures crash from the 60s through the 50s, through the 40s, the 30s, the 20s. Yes, it's all going to happen tomorrow on Christmas Day in the northern mid-Atlantic. For GardenStateWeather.com, GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, I'm Robert Smith, your meteorologist, and I want to wish everyone a very safe, happy, limited but joy-filled Christmas.